Okay guys, welcome back. So today we're going to take a dive into 3 golf balls that could potentially shape the fitting that you're about to undertake. You can go into different facilities, Matty. It might be a facility that uses a range ball, a 2-piece, decent golf ball. It might be a premium golf ball like what we use here at TXG.
Right.
And it might be an offering of premium golf balls like we have at TXG. What we want to explain today is how this can shape your fitting experience and kind of also what knock-on effects those can have in your game in general.
Definitely.
When you're chopping and changing all the time. One thing that we see with all the variants in these golf balls is it can really lead someone to think they're doing something with their club that they're actually not. Yep. It's just the way that golf ball is performing.
Like if you switched into a ball that started spinning a bit less off your wedges, you might stop getting up and down as much in a round.
No doubt about it.
You all of a sudden play a mid-iron ball that spins more.
Yeah.
Well, how come I'm coming up short all the time? Then you go see your coach and say, or your club fitter, what's wrong with my clubs?
One of Titleist's messages is 75 rounds, your wedges, your grooves will have deteriorated significantly enough that it's probably time to rethink, changing your wedges.
Yeah.
Well, what is that drop off? Is it 400 or 500 RPM? Because we think there might be a case for the wrong golf ball might be in the thousands in terms of the change that it can make to your spin rate and launch angle.
Yep.
So we're going to run through it with our standard test: partial shot 50 yards, full pitch and wedge, full 7, full driver.
Right.
And let's kind of see how that shapes out. We've got 3 golf balls that we believe are low, mid, and high spin.
Yes.
Our low spin golf ball is the AVX, about
Good
as low
choice.
as we've ever tested. Mid spin is the Z-Star golf ball from Strixon, great golf ball.
Yep.
And the high spin was the Wilson Staff that we tested a few weeks ago, which was really high, wasn't it?
One of the best high spin balls that we've tested because it was very consistent and it gives someone that, it was a good 10, 15% more spin on every club.
Absolutely.
Pretty much.
And we want to look at the little fluctuations in distance control, land angle, stopping power, all that sort of thing. Angle of descent, a big one if you can kind of spike up the spin rate and get that ball to stop a little steeper for those people who maybe are using a stronger lofted iron or just naturally have a low ball flight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, 50 yards, we're going to test our low spin ball first. That's nice. Okay, so partial shot there, interesting. Quite different. 70, just under 7,500 with the AVX. Mid spin was the Z-Star at just about 78.47, and then quite a jump up to 85, 81 with the Wilson Staff. And I think the kind of point in the moral of the story is here, it's not even so much about the mid. It's like if you walked in playing this one and you ended up getting tested with this one, look at the variance, 1,100 of a difference.
And you may have come in telling the fitter, I want to replace my wedges, I'm not spinning them enough. Like, what wedges do you guys have that spin a lot? And you might go, okay, well, the Vokeys spin quite a bit. We've got some Mizuno wedges.
Exactly.
And then you go through this test,
Yep.
and maybe you could pick a wedge that fits you generally and adjust the spin using the ball.
Yeah, a few years back when a good few years back now, but when they changed the groove rule, and everyone was up in arms, oh, we can't spin it anymore, this and that, and I think the manufacturer have done a good job of finding a way around that with the way they mill between the grooves and different kind of design philosophy, CG location, etc. But here's a perfect example. If everything was standardized back in 2012, whenever that rule came in, a little change to the golf ball like this can all of a sudden, get you back into being a high spin player again if that was the way you like to play the game. So there's a full wedge, Matty, that spun about the same spin rate as the 50-yarder with the high spin ball.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
That's a huge difference.
Swinging, 2 times faster and all that kind of stuff.
Crazy.
That is
crazy.
Ball
speed is literally twice as quick. You were 53 point something ball speed with the 50-yard shot.
Yeah.
And you're 107. That's wild.
That's amazing.
There's a nice flight. Maybe a bit more spin in that one. Got a chance. Oh, just turned a little bit. That's a nice ball flight, Matty.
That might go in. It's a really good feeling ball, this one, off the irons.
Excellent. Matty, 3, basically the identical yardage, 139, 138, 139.
Yeah.
Identical launch angle for the most part. A little bit more ball speed off the Wilson, but it was all in line from a efficiency standpoint. It's just the swing speed was just a touch higher there.
Gotcha.
But look at the spin difference.
Amazing.
So again, talking about the highest to the lowest, we're seeing a massive amount of change in that again. So from an AVX to a Wilson staff, big difference.
Yep.
Nice, Matty boy. That's nice. Very nice. That was a nice swing. That was a beauty. Swing looks good, man. That's a beaut.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, pal. Mid spin.
Oh, good.
That's awesome. They look similar. I mean, they're not kind of nose diving at all. They're not stalling at all. They're just a nice amount of spin. Nice flight. Nice, really nice.
That one's nice.
Perfect. Back to the wedge, okay, so ball speed very similar, launch angle, bit of a variance. I mean, 31.9, 33, yeah, 1.3, I suppose not too much. It's more just seeing a 31 and a 33, but the spin difference 1100, quite a lot.
Yeah.
On a 50-yard shot, that's quite a lot. Let's move into the full pitching wedge. The low spin and the mid spin get quite a bit tighter, but quite a separation again. Not as much, 900 rather than 1100, so it's getting a little tighter. Into the 7, yeah, similar. More separation between low and mid. Probably the most progressive, evenly progressive
Very
of all of the ones we hit.
Definitely.
But again, 186, 184, 185. So again, back as a fitting resource, it really does show how you can manipulate the numbers. Somebody wants to play a P790, okay, well, let's look at a ball more like a Wilson staff.
Yes.
I want to play a more traditional golf club, you know, but I don't really want the spin that comes with it. Okay, let's play something a little bit more like an AVX. And we fight and we scrap for kind of 100, 200, 300 RPMs here and there. Well, we're changing it by, you know, 1,000 really every single yards that we're testing here. There's about 1,000 between the high and the low ball.
Also think of all the people that come in with a set of irons that they like. They come to you to say, I want to reshaft them because I want to change my ball flight. And you've said it a million times, like, well, you'll be lucky if you get anything out of that process other than a big hole in your pocket.
Yep.
And you could buy a $40, $50 box of balls and make 1,000 RPMs.
Absolutely. And you know, I think when it comes to that as well, it's realize what it is you're actually trying to do if you need a reshaft. You're not trying to influence launch and spin. I mean, you know, my own sort of Q&As, Mikey's, Ryan's, you know, whoever it is, you know, when people ask these questions about what shaft is going to lower spin, you know, what ball is going to lower spin?
What ball?
That's the question you need to ask yourself.
Definitely.
Or raise spin, whatever it might need to be. So let's look into the driver. And I think this is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
The performance, I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's as close as we've had, I think, in a while.
24.57, 24.97, 24.83 within 3 yards. Launch angle, really not much difference. Ball speed, very, very similar. So, again, do not go into a fitting trying to fit yourself to a golf ball off or driver off of the golf ball.
Yeah, because we could easily. I mean, if you were looking at this and say my spin was 2,700, all the other clubs were in a great spot. You'd take the wrench, you'd tick the loft half a degree lower. There's your 300-400 RPMs off the driver, and all the other wedges and irons are fit perfectly with the ball.
I mean, there's so little variance. I mean, we see massive changes, 50-yarder, wedge, 7-iron, big differences between the golf balls. Then when we get to driver, they're all designed to do the same thing.
And the AVX is very soft, and that Wilson stuff is very firm compression-wise. Compression made a difference, no doubt about it, but we're talking about less than 1% on ball speed. I don't think most people are going to care or notice.
No, absolutely not. Especially not when the end result is as tight as what it is there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very, very minimal. But guys, the golf ball makes a difference. We've been banging on about this for long enough. You know, it's one of the reasons we use a Z-Star in our bays at TXG because, you know, it is a middle of the road golf ball, and if someone's coming in, you know, and they do bounce around all the time, you know, we don't really want them in a low spin ball for testing. Don't want them in a high spin ball for testing. let's go middle of the road and then adjust either way should we need to.
Probably just over the years I've been here, you kind of went from having ball fitting as a standalone session. It seems like more now a ball fitting session is integrated into every other session.
So it's a perfect assessment. It's
exactly how else could
what
you?
We've done.
Yeah.
Exactly. We don't offer a ball fitting here anymore. It's part of your session. So it's not like you even really need to pay for it. It's kind of part of what you're going to get anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like the bonus.
Absolutely.
On top of your fit. So very good point. But hammering it home, guys. The golf ball. Don't be overlooking the golf ball. Try not to chop and change between golf balls. If you are going to do a little bit of testing, make sure you do it with a launch monitor, numbers, and with someone's expertise and where they can advise you what you need in your game. And we even saw a little bit in our decision which golf balls we were going to test today. Some golf balls are very similar in a 7-iron, but they're massively different on a wedge.
We were looking at the true feel and the velocity from Titleist just because we wanted to think, okay, well maybe we go with something other than AVX for the low spin. But the characteristics of it are so different. Like the AVX retains good spin in the wedges and it actually drops it quite low in the mid-irons. Those balls were more just low all the way across. So it is part of the decision. You have to really pay attention and hit clubs through the bag. You might not know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is good. Guys, it's a way to save yourself some cash but make a big impact in your game. That's the punchline here. You don't have to. People are always saying, what's the cheapest way to improve my game? This is probably it.
Yeah, I agree.
This is probably it. In order to dial yourself in and get it your ball flight where you need to, this is probably the lowest of the low-hanging fruit.
Couldn't agree more.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay. Guys, lots of new golf balls arriving with us. We're kind of getting to that time of year. Lots of the companies shown us their 2022 prototypes. We're excited to test those. Going to be a few more weeks before we get a chance to do our testing with them, but there's more to add to the mix here in the golf ball conversation.
Yeah, I can't wait to test all those.
Yeah, be good stuff. All right, stay tuned for that. We'll see you again soon.